Have you ever been told you're just too anxious, too sensitive, or maybe just too much? Well, what if those labels are completely missing the point? What if all those feelings are actually signs of a really sophisticated, hard-won intelligence? A set of survival skills your brain developed not because anything is wrong with you, but because of what you've been through. Okay, let's get into this. This right here, this is the heart of it all, isn't it? So often, we treat what are actually brilliant adaptations like they're flaws. If this quote hits home for you, if you've ever felt totally misunderstood for the very way your mind works, then you are in exactly the right place. We're going to reframe these traits, not as weaknesses, but as the superpowers they really are. So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about what this different kind of smarts actually is. Then, we're going to walk through 7 core traits. Just see what feels familiar. After that, we'll dive into the neuroscience, like why your brain is doing this. And then, the most important part, we'll map out a real, actionable path from just understanding all this to actually healing. Okay, let's start with a new term for you, traumatic intelligence. Now, this has nothing to do with your IQ score. This is about a set of advanced, predictive, and intuitive skills that you developed to navigate unpredictable and often unsafe environments. You can think of it as the intelligence of survival. Your brain learned how to scan, predict, and feel its way through chaos because it absolutely had to. All right, now we're getting into the real meat of the experience. As we go through these 7 traits, I just want you to notice what resonates. There's no judgment here, okay? Just recognition. Let's take a look at how these show up in everyday life. Let's walk through these. Number 1. Reading people instantly. I once had a client who could tell you if layoffs were coming just by the way his manager walks down the hall. That's not anxiety. That's highly tuned pattern recognition. Number 2, emotional knowing. This is that gut feeling, right? You feel the conclusion in your body long before your brain catches up. Number 3, a high tolerance for ambiguity. You get that life isn't black and white because you've had to live in the gray areas. Number 4 is that overwhelming empathy. A sad story can literally make your chest ache. Clinically, we sometimes call this emotional contagion. It's like you catch the feelings in the room. Number 5, this one is tough. Near success sabotage. A patient once told me she finally got a stable, loving partner and immediately felt this urge to pick a fight. Why? Because calm and safe felt foreign, and anything foreign can feel dangerous. Number 6, the constant why analysis. Your mind is always trying to solve the puzzle, to make sense of a world that once felt completely senseless. And finally, number 7, maybe the most frustrating of them all, awareness without change. You can see your patterns playing out clear as day, but you feel like a passenger in your own life, totally powerless to stop it. If any of these sound familiar, just know you are not alone. So, how did you get so good at all this stuff? Well, here's the thing you have to remember. These traits aren't just random quirks of your personality. They are the direct, predictable results of how a human brain adapts to chronic threat. It's not magic, it's just neuroscience. The big word here is hypervigilance. The best way to think about it is like your internal smoke detector. Now, if you live in a house that's always catching fire, you want that detector to be extra sensitive, right? The problem is, even after you move to a perfectly safe house, that detector often stays dialed up to the max. Your system is still scanning for smoke, even when there's no fire. It's a brilliant tool that just got stuck in the on position. So here's how this actually works in your brain, and this is fascinating. A trigger happens. It could be a certain tone of voice, a sudden look. Instantly, your amygdala, the brain's alarm center, just fires off. And here's the crucial part. That alarm signal takes a shortcut. It completely bypasses your logical thinking brain. This is why you feel that jolt of panic or anger in your gut before you can even think, wait, what's happening? Your body is already in motion. It's a feature, not a bug, of a brain that's wired to keep you alive. Okay, so we get the what and we get the why. But the most important part of this whole conversation is the how. How do we actually move forward? How do we start to turn down the volume on that internal alarm? This next part is all about real, actionable tools you can use to teach your nervous system that the war is over. This quote, this is for every single person who has ever thought, I know exactly why I do this, but I just can't stop. You're not crazy. That gap is real. Intellectual understanding is a vital first step, but it's not the whole journey. Healing happens in the body. The brain doesn't learn safety by thinking about it. It learns safety by experiencing it again and again and again. So our first and maybe most powerful tool is grounding. Think of it this way. When that hypervigilance alarm misfires, grounding is how you manually override the system. It's how you speak directly to your nervous system in a language it understands, saying, hey, I know you're scared, but look around. The threat was then. We are safe right now. And here's a super practical way to do that. The 5-4-3-2-1 method is a lifesaver because it's so simple and you can do it anywhere without anyone even knowing. The next time you feel that wave of panic start to rise, just pause. Look around the room and silently name 5 things you can see. Then, bring your attention to your body and notice 4 things you can feel. Maybe it's your feet on the floor, the texture of your jeans. Now, listen for 3 distinct sounds. Then, what are 2 things you can smell? And finally, notice 1 thing you can taste. Each step is an anchor, pulling your brain out of the past and planting it firmly in the safety of right now. And remember, healing isn't just about what you do in a crisis. It's about slowly lowering your baseline stress level every single day. These are like little snacks of safety for your nervous system. A big morning stretch to say hello to your body, a few deep belly breaths at lunch to hit the brakes on that fight or flight response. Shaking out your hands literally helps to discharge stored up stress hormones. And some gentle neck rolls at night, that's you physically letting go of the tension from a day of being on high alert. This slide really lays out the critical shift we're aiming for. Over on the left, you have intellectual awareness. That's the I know my story part. It's super important, but it can also keep you stuck in your head. On the right, that's somatic healing. That's about the felt sense of safety in your body in this moment. Our entire goal is to build a bridge between the two, to go from just knowing you're safe in your head to letting every cell in your body truly feel that it's safe now. Now, this whole healing thing isn't just a big chaotic mess. It actually has a structure. Phase 1, which is everything we're talking about today, is all about building a foundation of safety. It's about learning the tools to manage your nervous system right here, right now. Only when you feel stable in the present do you even think about moving to phase 2, which is processing the past. And from that place, you can move to phase 3, reconnecting with your life and your future, but this time from a place of real security. This is maybe the most hopeful part of all. None of this is a one-time fix. It is all about practice. Every single time you use a grounding technique or you consciously take a deep belly breath when you're stressed, you are physically doing something incredible. You are carving new roads in your brain, pathways that lead to calm instead of the old, worn-out superhighway to panic. You are literally, physically rewiring your own brain for safety. And a really beautiful way to support that rewiring is with a gentle evening reflection. This isn't about judging yourself. This is just about compassionate curiosity. Ask yourself, when did my body get tense today and where did I feel it? Was I able to give myself even a tiny moment of calm? And my favorite question, what felt just 1% safer today? We're looking for the small wins here, building a new story of safety, one tiny piece at a time. And that brings us to the end. I just want to leave you with this one question. Your traumatic intelligence, your superpowers, they have kept you safe for a very, very long time. They did their job perfectly. The work now is to gently teach that system that it can finally rest. So what is one small, kind, gentle thing you can do for your nervous system today? Maybe it's putting a hand on your heart. Maybe it's just feeling your feet on the floor for 10 seconds. That tiny step, that's where your next chapter begins.